I don't know about interesting. Ricochet did a promo in the ring, and he's stolen Prince Nana's robe from the embassy, and he's wearing the robe. And he was the biggest heel so far on the show with the crowd there live, but I'm not sure it's because it wasn't really a great heel promo. I think people just don't fucking like him. But then Nana came out, and for once, they let Nana speak, and they explained something. He came out and he said, I told Swerve to stay home so that you and I could speak one-on-one, Ricochet. Now, of course, that doesn't explain necessarily why he told Swerve to stay home, because Nana's O for life amongst people one-on-one when he's interacting physically with any other person. But nevertheless, he told the story. The robe doesn't belong to Ricochet. The robe, Nana finally got to put himself over. And he did a pretty decent promo about how much the robe meant to him and what it meant and what it stood for and who could wear the robe and the honor it bestowed on him. And Ricochet doesn't deserve it. And Nana says, give the robe back. Reminded me of put the candle back. Give the robe back. And Ricochet said, I think you need to take it. And then he just basically told Nana, you're not getting this robe back. And then he turned around and left with the robe. So,
and he made his little noise too.
Like, yeah. So that matter is solved. Nana ain't getting the robe back. End of story. Let's move on.
But again, it was a good promo, but the idea that it ended with, do the right thing and give this back. Do the right thing, Mr. Stab everyone in the head with scissors and give me back my clothing. How did they think this would go?
But it's like the ending, it shouldn't. You're not getting this robe back unless you take it from me. Let Nana try to take it. Give him 1.5 things of offense on surprise, and then let Ricochet get some heat on him, and then let Swerve be mad and come back to get even about it. But he said, no, fuck you. I'm going to walk right out of here with your shit. You ain't going to do goddamn nothing about it, even though you're a grown man. Fuck you. And he left with the robe. And then we went to the main event, and this won't take long, and we'll get to the ratings, because the main event, it's back. It's back. Just when we thought it was safe to watch television, the company mascot is back. Our little puppy Pockets wrestled Roderick Strong in the main event of a show that's been losing viewers like the Titanic was taking on water over the last few months, and they thought it'd be a good idea to put this fucking clown. And Roddy and Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly were babyfaces 3 weeks ago, and now Roddy is wrestling this fucking idiot, who's allegedly a babyface also. And it started at 15 minutes till 10 and still ran over. And of course, I'm not going to try to seriously critique a match involving Pockets, which would be like trying to do a scholarly dissertation of a fucking cat's shit. But at 1 minute after, just so they could say they ran over, Pockets, quote unquote, hit Roderick Strong with a Superman punch that didn't come within a foot of him. And there was no doubt. It was a hard camera shot right there. It was a sideways angle. There was no mistaking that it's just so fake and silly and stupid. These clownish indie jackoffs that get featured on this program in this middle of this mayhem. 1, 2, 3, beat Roderick Strong. And then Shivani comes in the ring to interview the cretinous little fucking weasel. But here comes Don Fallis out with Take a Shit and what's his name? Mark Davis, Kyle Davis, Sammy Davis. What is Mark Davis?
Mark Davis.
And they jumped on Pockets and got some really brief, sorry, bad, phony looking heat. And then here came Kenny. Kenny came out and he made a save, but then they stopped him and got some fake looking heat on him. But then the babyfaces made a comeback again, and the heels rolled out and stood in the entranceway 10 feet away from him, and nothing else happened. And 5 minutes later, 5 minutes of the overrun, 5 minutes after the hour, they were off the air. Why would you, again, you're struggling to keep the viewers that you're getting, and you put that on last to tell people, okay, it's all, 20 minutes, fuck it, I'm done.
Hey, also, listen, Kenny Omega, one of their bigger stars, surprise appearance. Why wouldn't you have him do something to build up and announce to your fans?
Because he could save a fucking string bean that's lucky that he could get a job parking cars at a wrestling event. He'd come out and save his ass.
Well, that was Dynamite. And good news, we said that it'll probably be any day now that Pockets returns. Tony likes to cycle people in and out, I'm sure.
Renee Moxley Good was in the back with Chris Jericho. Now he's not doing the silly voice. It's still silly promo, but he's not doing the silly voice now because now he says he's not getting the respect for the size of star that he is. And He threatened to have Renee Moxley Good thrown out of the arena and was kind of pissed off. Bandito beat him in the Australian Grand Slam match or whatever in the Ring of Honor portion. So now Bandito gets a title shot at the Ring of Honor title on Collision against Jericho. That was boy howdy. And then he got bleeped for saying, I'm Chris fucking Jericho. But they bleeped Jericho because nobody wants to hear a word like that. Is he dropping this thing now? Thank God that he's buried everybody involved in it. With the hi guys, is he getting back to being just a pissy, whiny, bitchy type of fellow?
I think, you joke about MJF, you want to talk about someone who really wants people's approval. I think it's bothered Chris Jericho when people criticize some of the stuff that he personally liked that was terrible. And I think the number of people that are doing that are more now than ever before. They're at least paying attention to what he's doing. Not too many AEW fans like this learning tree shit. Even with the Observer fans. Did it win worst gimmick? I think that's what won worst gimmick.
Did it win or just place highly? I don't want to be incorrect.
I'm not sure, but the point is there isn't an audience for it. No one wants to see it. Chris Jericho needs a run where he's serious and not someone pretending to be serious. I just don't know if that's going to come out of this. I'd like to put the Jericho team in a feud with the Death Riders and just let them kind of ride that out on Collision. That'd be my personal pick.
Matter versus antimatter. Well, speaking of...
But Jericho's a non-entity right now, and I think everyone kind of knows that, and he's paid as a much bigger star than he currently is, and he had a lot of value early on, but he's a non-entity and most people don't want to see him anymore.
But otherwise, yeah, they didn't have a long match right after. They went to the Grand Slam package, so you can see how glorious the program was that lost 75% of its audience over the course of the 2 hours. And then they went to Christian, Nick Plain, and Pip Sabian against the team of Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shapoopy, who are now known as the Ops, OPPS. The Ops, who has a Special Forces operation background here. This is another shooting group. Since the Blackpool Combat Club did so good, Samoa Joe is back in the ring on television and is bereft, as they are in this company, of any major talent for the world title picture or the top singles spots, and he's having 6-mans involving Shapoopy and Pip Sabian, among others. Did you watch this? Because I didn't.
I didn't. It was a combination of my boredom with the patriarchy and Samoa Joe. It's like a bad A-team, you know? We take this man, we put him in a kid and a man with no brain, or removed brain. His brain was returned and now he's with Joe. Whatever the fuck it is. They have all
Return to sender, brain unknown.
They have all these factions, and now they got to the point where they just throw anyone together and put a stupid name on it, like the conglomeration, which is basically, who's not booked? Put them together. Now you're a group. Samoa Joe has value on his own. Whatever Hook's value is, you got to work on that. And again, you need stars now, and you need to develop stars. But this ain't going to cause Hook or Shibata to become stars, though. Joe. He should be
what happened? What happened to the Joe Schmo show? There was 2 episodes, and I've not seen it again.
They moved it to another time slot.
Speak with the first 5 minutes of it, I guess.
You can go with that upgrade on. I know it's an easy.
I can't watch the Tony Storm promo. This is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Tell me it's not just ridiculous.
It's one of those things that we complained about early on in AEW. I'll say that we complained because that's what it was. And even before AEW, the thing that gets over, what do we call it? The ironic wrestling fan?
Yes.
The fan that wants to feel like they're in on the thing.
Something.
Again, we saw what the ratings were for her match, for the title match, where she won the title. But what did you think of this?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm sitting there listening to her talk like that. I hit the button. I can't. I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. All of this stuff is like, kids in drama school somewhere or in acting school or some kind of school trying to audition for different shit. You got first she has amnesia, now she's back to doing the fucking takeoff on Gloria Swanson and Sunset Boulevard or whatever the fuck's going on. And I'm not interested. It's silliness to me. And if that audience likes it, unfortunately, they'll do more of it. And that's why they've got 500,000 people watching it and no more, because that's the only amount of people who's not going to go, what the fuck is this silly shit? So that was what I thought about the Tony Storm in-ring promo.
With the return of Luther.
Oh, and that fat fuck. Jesus Christ. Has anybody ever leached more money off of the wrestling business than just in 5 years of AEW with Brandon Cutlet, that Michael Nakazawa that they finally got rid of, and Luther? Just because he's friends with Jericho, just because somebody's friends with somebody, they get jobs for 6 figures to wander around and stink the joint out.
Did they get rid of Nakazawa?
Well, he hadn't been on TV. I'm sure he might still be up Kenny's crack.
He was Kenny's assistant. Wasn't that his real job?
What does Kenny need an assist with?
He could have used an assist with making the video game, but apparently that wasn't
Sliding on into the next segment, Renee is back there with Willow, who's mad at the Boar Horseman because of what Marina Shafir did. So Marina Shafir comes in and beats the shit out of Willow with the briefcase. And then they walk out into the arena with Wheelie and Claudio, and Dick the Boozer starts cutting that promo on Edge and life in general. And again, he's twitching, he's snorting, he's making weird movements that one would imagine he is attempting to make you, in the course of his character presentation, believe that he's goddamn tweaking out on some kind of fucking homemade meth. That's the vibe I'm getting.
He's reverted back. He's reverted back. If you remember when he first came in, he wore the vest and he would kind of do the Bez from Happy Monday's shoulders, moving walk thing. He's doing all that stuff again. The funny walk, the vest, the screaming and foaming at the mouth over nothing. He's reverting back, even though he's in this other group. He's reverting back to what he was at the start. I don't mean that as some deep thing. I just mean it sucks.
Well, no, we are Devo. He's going backwards into shit that isn't any good. But speaking of shit that isn't any good, as he cuts his promo on Edge, then music plays, and here comes Light Switch Jay White. And he's going to come out and have something to say about this. But remember now that the 4 heels are in the ring, but there's another one. Pac is with this group every once in a while when he bothers to fly into the country. So Pac is walking out behind Jay White. Like, he never noticed he was there. He's only 10 feet behind him. And then Edge's music.
The only guy never wearing clothes.
Well, yeah, you can see him a mile away because he don't want to cover that physique up. That's the only thing he's got going for him. And then Edge's music plays. And the promo that Moxley had just done was like, Edge isn't even here tonight. So now they play Edge's music, and Edge appears in the ring behind Moxley, and they get in a fight. And then the baby faces actually, for once, beat up the fucking heels in this case, the Boar Horsemen, We're actually on the losing end of this thing. And then Edge pulled out a bat with spikes sticking out of the end of it. I mean, hundreds of spikes. And I swear to God, I almost could see him flapping in the fucking breeze when he'd swing it like they were rubber. But go ahead.
Remember last week, because you didn't see it, remember I told you on Dynamite that Edge and Jay White kidnapped. They stole the briefcase with the belt, and they got it in the ring, and their attempt to break it open was to swing that thing, which they pulled out from under the ring, to break it open as if that would ever happen. But that's where we first saw that, apparently. I thought it was that WWE, and we heard from people that said we've never seen that before, ever.
No, they wouldn't have that on the WWE television to begin with. This thing looked ridiculous, and besides that, they're horrible criminals because you can't break into a metal briefcase by smashing it flat. You have to pry it open. You're going the other way. But nevertheless, he's swinging this thing at Moxley, and Moxley is ducking, and so Edge can hit the steps or the ring post or whatever, and Moxley ran off, but the fans didn't care. There was mild amusement. It's fake as fuck. Fake as fuck. And it's just ridiculous visually. It's like trying to get somebody mad by showing them a fucking silent Keystone Cops comedy. It's just fucking slapstick. And then Edge cut the promo in the crowd with the fans around him on Moxley and said he's going to take out the Boar Horseman one by one until he gets to Moxley. So they're doing that again. Where he's going to. But is this the young, exciting new babyface that they're grooming to conquer the Boar Horseman? Edge is 53 years old. He's the only one that they're selling for. What is happening here, Brian?
That was one of my thoughts too. This can't all be done to give Edge the rub. Now, Edge has been choked out by Moxley multiple times, including as they finished in the tag match last week in Australia. Based on Tony's booking and classic booking, you would almost think he has to win the belt from Moxley at the pay-per-view. I told you my fears about Christian cashing in. But again, he shouldn't be the guy. If you've been doing all this and spending all this time with Jon Moxley, it has to be someone to get that win where the rub from whatever that means will last a long time. And help someone, not someone who's ridiculous out of nowhere, not like a Wheeler Yuta, not a Daniel Garcia, not an Orange Cassidy, but it should be used to help someone get elevated. And it doesn't, right now, who's that going to be?
But anyway, we move on. Dynamite rolls on.